So do you remember this? Maybe the journey isn't about becoming something. Maybe it's about unbecoming the things that aren't you. That would make sense if the great designer, who saw the end from the beginning, specifically designed you into his template of eternity. Think about a good designer, an artist, an architect. They have a vision of what they want, or at least some sort of idea before they ever start to build. That would be wise, to have a blueprint, to have a plan. Even if I'm an artist and I want to paint or I want to do pottery, even as a poet, I would want to have some idea of where I want to go. Yes, there's a flow in creativity, but there's also a way in which there is a design in creativity, the way things fit, the way things move well. So the designer, God, the great designer, capital D, he designed everything, and he said in that, before I formed you, I knew you. That he specifically designed you into his template of all eternity. So being in him, and part of that is being who he designed you to be. If we jump back a couple of sessions and we look at you discovering and doing the archaeology of who he's designed you to be, that loving, tender, joyful, connecting, you. If you made a list of those qualities and you did them well, probably you'll notice that all of those qualities are the same qualities that God possesses. They're the same qualities Jesus possesses. And of course they would, because you have his spiritual DNA. You are his child. So you would have the same qualities that he has. Now, if you have the same qualities that he has, you're part of his DNA, you're part of his body, I think it's good news, bad news that you need him. The good news is you don't have to do this on your own. You don't have to figure out any of this. All we're doing is asking him, Lord, what do you want me to know? Help me to see. You don't have to have your own strength to pull it off. He said, I'll give you my joy, and that'll give you some strength. He said, I'll give you my peace, not peace like the world gives, but my very own peace I'm going to give to you. He has all these gifts he wants to give to you. He has rest that he wants to give you in Hebrews 4. He has all of these gifts. He has these fruit of the Spirit. He has the gifts of the Spirit. He has all of these things he wants to give you, but they require something. They require being in him. Now, the good news is I don't have to pull all of this off on my own. The good news is like spinach for Popeye, right? That I don't have to be the one to bring up the big muscle, do the big fight, but that there's a way his grace is sufficient. His yoke is easy, his burden light. There's an empowerment that he gives us. The same Spirit that raised him from the dead quickens us and makes us strong. I might say it like this. It's your spiritual superpower. And it comes from and it flows from him. The bad news, if there is any bad news, is that either we want to do it ourselves or we think we're supposed to do it ourselves. Now, I fall into that category. I thought I was supposed to do it myself. I thought that it was true. God will only approve and help me if I do it right and I do it perfect and I do it correct. And then he says, well, good job. Here, I'll give you a little extra. I really thought I had to pull it off on my own. I found out, though, that I can't. Anyone else who struggles with that one, I'm supposed to do it by myself. That's what's required. I shouldn't have to be weak enough to have help. Then you'll find out real quickly you can't do that on your own. I was noticing the other day the part with Simon of Cyrene. I don't know if you remember him, but he was the one that carried Jesus' cross part of the way. Now, the Bible doesn't tell us why he carried the cross. The Bible doesn't say that Jesus fell down or Jesus was weak or tired, but just logically, I think he would have been close to death after all of the whipping and the scourging and the torture that he experienced. So I would think he would be weak. But for whatever reason, someone said someone needs to help Jesus. And if Jesus needed some help, why wouldn't I? that's comforting to me to know that He doesn't expect me to have to do it all on my own, to prove my own strength. I found a lot of times, even with my best effort, I don't have a lot of strength. So that's the good news. But there's this other place where people want to do it themselves. I'm thinking particularly of someone that I actually spent some time with and was talking to them about the Lord helping them. And they said to me, and they were Christian, so I would assume they would know this, but they said to me, Cindy, are you saying to me that for me to be successful in my marriage and as a father and as a parent and as an employee, that I have to have God help me? And I said, yes. I thought He'd be glad to hear it. And he closed down. His face got hard and he said, well, if I have somebody help me, then I'm not a man. And he walked away. He refused the Lord's help. Well, I think that in that situation, even if we put my situation in there, it requires a lot of humility to let go for whatever reason you're holding on to it. Because if you'll look at it, the way the great designer has set it up is I'm never going to be the hero of the story. There already is a hero in the story. Jesus is the hero of the story. And I am simply in His story. I'm simply with the hero of the story. And now what I need to do is I need to learn how, if I have His qualities, if I have His design, I want to know how to be in Him.